here the delcies we have are for port 1 we have 102 and 103, which in this scenario is correct because router 1 is our hub, so it's going to have both the connections to both router 1, both to router 2 and router 3. And then you can see here too the ports, port 2 is the delcy that's connecting router 2 to router 1, and then port 3 is the delcy that's connecting router 3 to router 1. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and then click apply and then click OK. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to add our links. So again, from router 1's perspective, again, it's going to be a serial connection too, so make sure you choose serial, a serial port, and then click on the frame relay switch, and then you're going to be presented with the ports that you just mapped. So for instance, for router 1 here, we're going to choose port 1 because if you can remember, if we go back to the frame relay connection here, our port 1 was mapped to delcies 102 and 103. So that's why we chose port 1 for router 1 to connect to the frame relay switch. Because it is the hub. Again, click serial here for the port, and now we're going to go router 2 is going to connect to the frame relay switch's port 2. And router 3 is going to connect the frame relay switch port 3. Remember. Now if we were to map this out here, the delcies would look something like this. 102, 103, and router 3's delcy is going to be 3 to 1, 301, and then router 2's is going to be 201. So it's pretty simple. Once you get the basic understanding of it, all you're doing is you're just mapping, you know, your layer 2 delcy to the other side in the frame relay switch. So that's where you create the mappings. Now what we need to do is go into the routers, and we're going to you know, be doing the IP addressing and set up the layer 2 static frame relay maps between the nodes. And we'll go ahead and do the IP addressing real quick here. What we'll use for router 2 to connect, we'll use 192.168 1.2. Router 3 is going to be 192.168 1.3. And router 1 we're going to use 192.168 1.1. So real simple naming scheme here, our IP addressing scheme. This is just a real simple, we're just going to do static frame relay maps here. Excuse me. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start these routers. Okay, what you can see, I just paused it there for a second just so I could get my links up here. So everything's up and running here. What we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and jump into our PuTTY connection manager and go ahead and start configuring our routers. Okay, this is router 1, so we're gonna name it router 1. Okay, here I'm on router 2, so I'm gonna go ahead and configure the host name on it so I know what I'm in when I get into this router.